How accurate is lab testing for electrolytes? Carrie recently asked me about this, and honestly, I have been getting asked about electrolytes a lot lately. Now, a few weeks ago, I talked about this in a podcast episode called Is Your Missing Link Electrolytes, where I go into a lot more detail about them. Plus, if this is an area of interest for you, I've got a series in the works where I'll be covering the topic even more. But for now, I wanted to give you a straight answer since I can imagine how many women, just like Carrie, are curious about this. So, how accurate is lab testing for electrolytes? Here's the deal. Electrolyte lab tests, while helpful, they have their limitations. These tests will measure levels of things like sodium and potassium and magnesium and calcium and others in the blood. And electrolytes are vital. They keep your body balanced, they maintain fluid levels, and they help nerves and muscle cells function properly. The problem is these tests don't always give a full picture of what's going on. First, lab values can vary. What's considered normal in one lab might be flagged as out of range in another. On top of that, your results can change based on a host of factors: diet, exercise, supplements, medication, and even the time of day. That's why electrolyte tests are ideally done in the morning for more consistent results. Now, medications can also complicate things. For example, diuretics and pain meds can lower electrolyte levels, and steroids can increase them. If you're on medication, it's important to understand how they impact electrolytes and adjust your diet or supplement intake accordingly. Another tricky thing is you can appear to have normal electrolyte levels on paper, even if your levels are actually off. Your body has a built-in mechanism to dilute or conserve electrolytes to keep things stable. So results might look fine even when they're not. The same goes for urinalysis. High electrolyte levels in your urine might be missed because of how your kidneys are compensating. Additionally, factors like high blood sugar, obesity, or elevated lipids can really skew the results. For instance, your high blood sugar can make sodium levels appear artificially low. Something as simple as digestion can actually resolve this. The bottom line, electrolyte tests are a tool, but interpreting the results really requires some context to go with this. Unless levels are very high, very low, or consistently off, the numbers might not paint the full picture of what's happening in your body. So I hope this helps clear up some of the confusion, and I make sure that you stay tuned for upcoming podcasts where we're going to dive deeper into all things electrolytes. And thanks for asking this, Carrie. I appreciate it. I think a lot of people have been curious about this. Now, in the meantime, if you need support now to determine if your electrolytes are actually helping or harming your head, just reach out. My team and I love talking about this topic and are ready to help. All my contact info is in the show notes, or join us over in the Freedom From Migraine Method membership to get started on your electrolyte symmetry today.